afternoon, doctor.
Afternoon, doctor.
All right. So the reason why I always start with the songs is because I want to test my network. Basically, I want to share a video and then I test my network and I'll be walking around my house to see which corner basically has the best reception, whereby there's no lagging, and so on, whereby the music that I can hear is plays smoothly. All right. All right. So I believe all of you got this previous test paper. Question one is basically quite straightforward. All right, so this is last year, mid of last year. All right, so question one basically is quite simple, straightforward. So it's asked about a manufacturing system can be shown as a model consists of three elements. So which is, but basically they already give you the answer, which is the input, the transformation, and the the output. So basically, if you oh yeah, I'm using my iPad. Actually, I'm moving my mouse. So what's wrong with me? Okay. All right. So if we want to go back to chapter one, all right. So this is the one that we are talking about. All right. So basically, it has a input, okay, transformation, and output. All right. So basically, this question is talk about this particular diagram, all right, of the input, the transformation to output through input to output through a transformation process, okay, or the transition process, all right. So in this question, they ask you, okay, of three elements, make a sketches of the model. So basically, you have to draw that drawing, all right. So in the end, what else is required? Okay, you are required to explain the transformation process. Okay, 4 marks. All right. So basically, you just have to actually do as what I told you previously. It's like, okay, the process, basically go through, transformation process, whereby you have the raw material, the involvement of the direct labor, indirect labor, the facilities, R&D, and so on and so forth. All right. So whereby it will go through a transition whereby everybody is taking parts, in contributing in whatever way that they have or play their own functions, and those who wash toilet will continue to wash toilet, those who sell food will continue to sell food, those who actually take care of the warehouse will take care of the warehouse. Everybody is important, right? So we'll go through this transition process to go through a value added process. Okay, value added process is by adding the value of the products. Like for example, if you add, a certain thing, it will kaching, add value means the price will be higher, and so on, right? So every process, all right, actually means something. Like for example, if you go to the mama shops, and so on, all right. So when you have this mama put on start the wok, the moment he start the wok to process your food, that's the value added process start. When you're adding minyak, stir fry, and so on, everything that contributed to the end product, that is your, for example, your food that you order, okay, actually that all of this counts, in the transition, let's say from a raw chicken, raw noodle, raw vegetable, and so on, into your final food that you order. Okay, then only you will pay a certain amount of money for that particular food that you order. Because if somebody actually serve you and bring the food to you, so-called food, okay, and you see that how come the chicken is still raw, the egg is still in the in the eggshell, will you pay something like 8 ringgit for that particular plate of things? It's all raw material. No, we won't do that unless you go to a do it yourself kind of a restaurant whereby they give you the wok and then you have the chance to actually fry the noodle yourself. That is a different kind of scenario. But most of the time we have to go through, okay, we will actually have to go through a certain value added process whereby all the process, if you want to add extra egg, so the process of putting the egg into the fried noodle will add extra 1 ringgit, let's say. But however, the price of an egg is not that expensive. the most, the grade A size, huge egg, just something like 20 cents. Now, how come they are charging you 1 ringgit for that? Because of the value added process, the way they fry, the sauce that they use, there's the sequence, the step, the procedure that they are having to, they have to add in, they have to use more gas, and so on. They have to use more time, and so on. So all this contributed to maybe an extra of 1 ringgit, extra if you add an egg, for example. Okay, so in the end, all these are this extra value added process. For example, in the most of the industry, most of the products, if you want to add extra RAM, if you want to add extra, in terms of specification, more RAM, more ROM, more sound cards, better sound cards, better this and that. The ingredient that will be uses will be different. Like for example, if you want a faster speed, for the Republic of Gamer kind of ROG kind of smartphone. So of course you are going to need a better, performance, and so on. The CPU, the GPU, and so on. So that comes with a cost, even though the process is the same. Okay, even though the process is the same, but the ingredient that is used actually basically is a more expensive one. Okay, so like for example, if you go to restaurant again, normally they will push you for nasi biryani rather than the white rice, right? The plain rice that we are eating, nasi putih dah cukup. Then kan, it will save you a lot of money. But if you go for nasi biryani, you have to pay more because the effort that they put in making the nasi biryani, they will have to add in all the spices, and so on, and then to make the nasi biryani. Okay, so this is the basically what is being expected in this kind of questions. All right, so okay, question 2. Now you will see this jewelry. All right, so most jewelry, okay, is produced by either job shop production or batch production. Okay, very seldom or rarely it goes to a mass production system, unless those kind of that jewelry that you can buy from, let's say the Lazada, a few ringgits kind of ring, and so on. Those were mass produced, but highly likely, most probably, this jewelry that you buy from, let's say, Pokong, Habib Jewel, kind of thing, mostly is just produced by, 10, 20, 30, 40, 40, 50, or even hundreds, and being distributed to all of these their outlets, and so on. So most of the shops, they have a few of it, few of the standard normal size that is normally being like the Asian size, everybody, as you know, that every body has a different finger size, and so on. So in the end, they will actually study, what is the preferred, okay, the finger size, so the ring size will be about this size, people would prefer, or people will actually is buying or selling this kind of size, kind of ring or certain pendants, and so on. So here it says that Mr. Ahmad is interested to invest in a company he just inherit from his uncle. I wish I have an uncle like that. All right. But he absolutely naive about manufacturing. So he don't know about anything about manufacturing. So we're trying to create a story here. Okay. The business is a goldsmith shop, basically making different shape and size of gold necklace, bangles, rings, as a figure Q2 here. Sure. Okay. So as an engineer, you are required to advise Mr. Ahmad to decide on type of manufacturing shop. So here it tells you the type of shop. Okay, I already told you here is either job or batch. Okay, and the main reason why such class is suitable: skill of worker requirement, specification of equipment to purchase, and the quantity of products the company is capable of producing. Okay, So we are looking into the skill. First of all, you have to define. Okay, you have to define which manufacturing shop. All right. So if I can remember clearly that the scheme, the marking scheme basically said it's a job or a batch production. Depends on how you tell the story. Okay. For normally, you can start, normally for this kind of goldsmith, the quantity that they sell, actually it won't be much, won't be a lot, So that's why I am proposing a job production. For example, you are not wrong by saying that. Okay, you are not wrong. Okay, or maybe you can say that because you owing to this is a chain store. For example, you have to know how many outlets, even though the story never tell you, but you're actually showing that actually you know something about this. Because if you want to talk about batch production, means that you have to produce more. Okay, you have to produce that. Say, if you want to make a ring, you have to produce in a batch. Okay, in a batch means that there is a lot of them. Okay, so even not as much as mass production, but still acceptable. Okay, so depends on how you want to argue with the story. Okay, so but however, this if you go into mass production, you tell blah 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 mass production, then you are definitely wrong. Okay, for this kind of storyline. Okay, so they have to talk about this skill of worker and the equipment. Okay, so we look back to our notes. All right. Okay, so in the job productions, okay, job production, all right, and batch production. So here it is by order. Okay, it's by order. All right. So sometimes in the jewelry shops, you can go in and order specifically what kind of jewelry that you need. All right. Or you can buy this existing that they make. Okay, so this kind of a certain kind of ring with a certain kind of design actually is preferred by many. All right, so they are trying to create a lot of this kind of design, and so on. They come out with a certain batch of products, a batch of design, and so on to test the market sometimes. All right, so that's why I say job production and batch production basically both are okay. Depends on how you write it. All right. So if you are talking about job production system, maybe this equipment that you use is very specific. However, in this case, it is true. Okay, but the similar approach, okay, of this um, the gold production, basically, it can be, in bigger scale, it can be used for metal as well. Just that the temperature, the melting temperature, and then the operating temperature, and maybe slightly different. But however, the process is still basically more or less the same. So is that really specific? Not really. So it can fall into a batch production. So it's more of a common. It's not only for especially for gold. However, okay, you can argue that because the let's say this operating temperature is the gold operating temperature is nothing like the cast iron steel, and so on. Okay, that those were high temperature, and so on. So basically, you can say that it is suitable for lower temperatures application. Okay, still that would fall under job production. So that's why I say job and batch is somehow very suitable to for the answer. So it's a more like this open questions, okay, open kind of question. So you can actually this answer is not just one answer. All right. So it will depends on how you argue it. All right. So then if you decide to go for job production, okay, if you say that job production is suitable, then you describe only about job production. That will be fine because bear in mind that you have limited time. All right, you have limited time means that you can't basically tell both of them unless if you are really fast. Okay, you can say that job production is suitable, batch production is also suitable, and so on. So if you are to basically for later stage, if Mr. Ahmad want to expand his business, probably he will have to change from job production system to a batch production system because he need to supply the gold rings, pendants to various outlets. Okay, so to sell in various outlets, so to increase the revenue and so on. All right, so you can argue about that. So basically, you have to look into the size of, let's say, 50 or less. All right, so here the size is normally hundreds, okay, or thousands or hundreds of thousands is okay for batch production system, because somebody just asked me in private messages just now. Okay. So my answer to him is that consider, let's say if I want to print a book, or I want to print a series of CDs, and so on. Let's say Lady Gaga's release a new singles, and so on. All right. So I know nowadays people buy from iTunes, and some actually subscribe to the Lady Gaga's official YouTube channel to basically listen to the songs. But back in my days, okay, so most of us still actually buy the CDs. Okay, still buy the CDs. So we have to actually go to the physical shop to get the CDs, and so on. So the physical shop basically have to get ready the CD. So from where? From the manufacturer that print the CD. So worldwide, they supply the CD and then they actually print it. Okay, print the CD and then supply to the worldwide. Let's say 500,000 copies. Considering this the how famous is one singer, so normally they will print more. Like for example, back then in my days, when Michael Jackson's come out with this album, and so on. Okay, the sales will be tremendously high, initially. Okay, so they have to basically print, not just hundreds of thousands, but millions of numbers. But does that qualify for mass production? Not really, because it is not a continuous kind of manufacturing. Means that you don't every day, produce 1 million copy, and so on, or you don't every day produce 100,000, because the heat, actually the fans, they will purchase the CDs, and so on in a certain time frame, and then afterwards the heat cool down, and so on, and the sales start to decrease. Okay, so this kind of products normally it is for quick sales. All right, it's for quick sales. I launch it, base disapu, finish selling. Like for example, the iPhone, and so on. When they come out in these pre-orders, and so on for the iPhone Pro Max, and so on, within minutes. Okay, the pre-sales, the pre-order actually finish within minutes, and those actually after that you have to wait for weeks. You have to wait for maybe months, and some of my friend is putting on the waiting list. They have to wait until January to get the iPhone Pro Max. I'm the lucky one. I get it within 2 weeks. So other than that, because they were producing by batch, okay? Because they know that those who actually like the product, they will buy it within the minutes where it is being launched. And after that, next year, and by March, April, and the closer it is to let's say September, the sales will eventually drop, because we know that iPhone 14 is coming. Okay, if somebody basically plan to change the phone, we know that the iPhone 14 is coming. Why am I going to pay the same amount of money for 13 when 14 is somewhere very close? Okay, so the Apple strategy would be, okay, stop producing iPhone 13, if we are closer to next year, September, and so, okay, cool down, slow down already, slow down. We don't want to produce that much, because once the new product is launched, the old product, who am I going to sell it to, right? So if for batch production, normally this kind of consideration normally will take place. All right. So, like for example, the books of J.R.R. Rowling, these Harry Potter's. Okay, when it's first launched, everybody will want to know what's the new story will be like. Once they finish it, they are expecting the next one. Okay, they will be expecting the next one. They will not go and buy it again. They will not buy the same book and watch it again because they can still read the same book. I can still listen to the same CD. I will not buy another, let's say there's a CD that I already own. Why do I need two? Okay. So in the end, this kind of product normally, okay, they have this kind of worry. So this manufacturing basically have to plan properly, or else you are going to end up with too much or too many stock up, of your products that you cannot sell. In the end, it went, outdated. Okay, let's say if I stock up, a lot of Lady Gaga CDs, and so on. Now, when she launched her new album again, now what am I going to do with my old stocks? Now, you might argue that, some fans might actually, some new fans might actually buy back, the older albums, and so on. Okay, but that would be a very rare case. Okay, because those already like her, maybe already like her since the beginning. Okay, so new fans, the scenario, maybe the percentage is very low. Okay, those who already own a house will not simply buy another new house in 3 months unless one is super rich. All right, so in the end, they will not make too many products, just stock there. I will sell it. Like for example, in these burger stores that you go in the Ramly Burger store at the roadside, right? You don't see them making 20 burgers, putting there. There will be people coming to buy. Don't worry. No, they don't do that. Now, what if nobody's buying? So there's that, and ends up that they have to bring back all the burgers and eat by themselves or throw. All right. So that would be this worry. Okay, for if let's say a job or a batch production normally. All right. Right. So I move on to the third questions. So every product must be able to function well, function as it was designed in a proper working condition with an acceptable period of time without fail. So,
Sorry, Doktor.
yeah.
Sorry, untuk yang question tadi tu,
Uh-huh.
yang 6 marks tu kan, basically dia akan kita kena cakap pasal type of manufacturing shop, and then yang lain-lain tu macam mana?
Okay.
Sebab dia 6
So
markah kan?
normally
poin-poin yang penting.
normally dia ada 3 area. Okay. So skill of work, which class is a skill of worker, purpose and the quantity. Okay, sini 2 markah kepada skill of worker requirement, specific equipment purchase dan quantity. 3 ini. Manufacturing shop ini cuma dia akan tengok kalaulah you start dengan contohnya, I think the most suitable one is mass production. Dia tak nampak mass production tu dia akan pangkar dan seterusnya tak tengok.
Oh.
Yes,
Yalah,
that one
sebab
as a kunci dah. Kunci dia nampak mass production yang bawah punya memang semua salah dah. Because the concept tu dah salah.
Okay. So memang berdasarkan job dengan batch lah kan. So kalau kita cerita pasal job, kita memang kena explain semua benda pasal job lah.
Yes, selamat lah. Anda dah tulis job production, at least student ni tahu. So kita barulah dia proceed tengok apa student ni cerita nanti.
Okay. Doktor.
Doktor?
Yeah.
What kind of product yang kita buat mass production?
Mass production contohnya television, kereta, yang quantity banyak lah. Memang yang selalu jual high quantity punya benda semua mass production. Bolt, nut, screw semua tu memang semua mass production. So smartphone pun boleh batch, between batch dengan mass sebenarnya. Kalau smartphone ke, laptop ke dan sebagainya. Okay, tapi nowadays people moving towards mass customization, bermakna dia mass production tapi ada element job shop ataupun batch production. Dan sekarang dia kalau macam dulu Proton kan, dia produce kereta. Contohnya hari ini saya rasa saya nak produce 500 kereta putih, 500 kereta merah, 500 kereta hitam, produce saja. So until ada satu masa, satu ketika tu, Proton is overstock. Okay, terlalu banyak produk dan sales tak bagus. So mereka terpaksa sewa satu tanah lapang ataupun they have to hire, they have to rent, an empty space, and so on to store all of their products, exposed to sunlight, exposed to rainfall, and so on, and deteriorate. And some of the car actually has been parked there for 1 or 2 years without people actually buying it, and then they cannot sell it. Meanwhile, they have to keep on producing as well, because all the worker is already being hired. They have to pay them, so they might as well get them to work, and so on, but without thinking of whether they can sell the product or no. So the mass production, basically you have this kind of worry as well. All right. So the mass production, other than mass production punya contoh example, for example, is food processing. Okay, it's like the when you go to supermarkets, and so on, this let's say the box drinks, the milk, the Coca-Cola, this the shampoo, that you purchase, all in bottle, the bottling plant, and so on. Those were mass production plant. So all the bottling happen, non-stop. They might be doing the bottling of, let's say, the Cow Merit, the Shiseido, and so on, various brand in one company. They might do this then, but everything actually basically is the same device is being used, the same bottling techniques, and so on. Even the size of the bottle is different. Even the chemical or the liquid, the washing liquids, everything that is put into the bottle is different formulation, but the process is the same. So whether you are bottling, Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola, and so on, basically it's the same process. Yeah, just the raw material might be different, the bottle might be different, the can might be different, the liquid that you put in might be different, but the mechanism, the machine is the same. Those were suitable for mass production. So it's just like Proton, right? Tak kisah kita produce Proton ke, or we produce, a Kia, a certain model, Hyundai, a certain model. Basically, you use the same thing, the same robots, and so on. Just that the program might be different. Okay, so those were the process that are suitable for mass production. So, for example, like car, bottling, bow and nuts, screw, television, okay, smartphone sometimes, okay, laptop sometimes. Laptop fall between batch and mass production. That would depends how well this product is being sold. Okay, for some of these, let's say these Qualcomm Snapdragons, series, of processors, those were produced in a mass quantity. They are using the same, the same process to produce. Let it be the Qualcomm 800 series or 700 series or 800 series. They still use the same process. They still use the same machine, and so on. Just that the control might be a little bit different. Just like the quality control might be a little bit different, and so on and so forth. Alright.
One more. Kalau ditanya macam ni, type of manufacturing shop kan, kalau kita just bagi jawapan somewhere in between, contoh between mass dengan batch, boleh?
Boleh, but depends on if you have the time or no. Kalaulah soalan ini, kalaulah okay, this one total 40 markah kan. So 40 markah. So if according to my calculation, so we have 90 minutes, right? 1.5 hours. So 90 minutes divide by 40 marks, so 2.25 for each marker kali 6. So you basically have 13.5 minutes for this one, for this question. So 40 marks, 1.5 hours. So this one 115 lah. Tapi untuk test, for the test tomorrow is 90 minutes. Okay, the total test time is 90 minutes. So the 90 minutes you have to answer 40 marks. So each mark is 2.5 minutes. So times 6 you get 13.5. So in 13.5 minutes you have to finish answer all these 3 elements. So 13.5 minutes. You plus another 10 minutes for you to actually snapshot, and so on, make it into PDF and upload, and so on. So you have 23.5 minutes to settle everything and upload it and then proceed to the next questions. All right. So if you want to cover both, it's welcome. Okay. You are welcome to do that. Okay. You are welcome to do that. That only show your vast understanding about the matters. But please be careful about the time that you have, because we are running by time cap. So the system that we showed you yesterday, because all the submission, everything will be locked after a certain time. Means that you don't even have the access to the question anymore. So it means that you don't even can submit anymore after the system is locked. Okay, so please be careful about that. All right, because we have a setting, for example, like for these questions, let's say we are giving you 13.5 minutes, right? So I'll open the submission portal. Okay, let's say the click here, the question 1 submission, click, section 1 and 2. You click here, I already said, this section will be open from 9 until so it's 13.5 minutes plus 10, so 23. So 9:24. So the most I will giving until 9:25. I will lock and close the door for submission. Okay, so I will close it. So the system will automatically close it. I just need to set to do the setting only. Okay, so they will stop, close the door, and then you no more can submit, and so on. A lot of your senior, a lot of students basically they know that because normally we will remind you, okay, time's up. So it's time to actually compile everything you written into PDF. I know a lot of you are still writing. I still have a lot to add. Oh, this one, touch code master. This one I want to add, and so on. And in the end, you over drag the time, and then maybe you end up with only 1 or 2 minutes left for submission. All right. So if for Google Form, that one is still okay, because that one I need to do manually. Semua orang dah submit, okay, I log macam tu. Okay, but for this e-learning, because all of your recorded times will be locked, and then will be, they will display. They will display whether this particular student actually didn't submit, and so on. So that we know. All right. So please, that's why please make sure that your network is good enough. All right. So and now I think a lot of you were there last night, right? So some of you basically can't access, and so on. So as these IT managers, the Mr. Zul Kepli, okay. So he actually explained from what I get is that this actually some of you might the laptop or the device that you use might already be corrupted with something. Like for example, if you go to movie site, there's a lot of pop up, pop up, the advertisements, some might contain the Trojan or the viruses that you do not know. So this kind of Trojan or these viruses basically is to steal the information. Like for example, your login passwords, your bankings, and so on. So when the UTM server basically detect, okay, there's something that is attacking the server, try to steal something from the server, they will block you. And then instead of elearning.utm.my, they are bringing you to elearning vm.utm.my. Means that they lead you to an empty space whereby there's nothing to steal, there's nothing to hack, and so on. You pergi main dekat sana lah. So that the system will not be disturbed. So this is the IT things. I do not know. I'm not sure whether the way that I explain it is correct or no. But from what my understanding is, like this. All right. So from what I do here is that you can write on one specific, let's say, job or batch first. If you have, in the end, you already finished writing everything. If you have extra time, you can say, However, even if Mr. Ahmad try to expand his business, he can consider the batch production because the batch production is what, you know. That would actually add weight to your answer. That would be something extra from you. That's a safer way to do, because the time that you have, as I said, for these 6 marks, you have 13.5 minutes to answer these questions. All right. So this one is in order to achieve this, some crucial factor need to consider for material selection. Okay, this one is about material selection. It's quite straightforward. So we have to look into the material selection. So this one I already draw. This one I used for yesterday's class as well. All right. So the suitability, the suitability, reliabilities, and so on. So the question asks you to explain how many? Okay, to discuss 2 of them. So basically any 2 lah. I never mentioned which 2, right? So one of the element that we should look for is, let's say, the suitability, because the material has to be suitable. Okay, suitable for its function, suitable for its appearance, suitable for the user, suitable for this, suitable for that. All right. So and then there are others like reliability, machinery. So any two of them will actually be counted. All right. So this one 4 marks. Okay. So bear in mind that this the system will actually lock. Okay. So there isn't a U-turn whereby, okay, since I finished question 3 early, okay, so I want to turn back, U-turn back to add in extra things for question 2. No, you can't do that anymore. Because once the time's up, the system gate will close. So the only thing you can do is to submit the question 3. All right. So somebody actually asked me whether if they can off this video during this or this camera during this test. Advisably, no. But you can say that if you want to do so, you can leave a message there. Okay, you can leave a message in the chat box. I've already submitted this particular question 3. So temporarily, I off this camera. I go for my toilet break or something like that. Okay, and then I'll come back after. So at least you tell the panel or the examiner that you will be away, or else it will be like, "Hey, kenapa Mr. Chong, kenapa you punya camera tak buka? Why you off your camera? Okay, you are supposed to on your camera." And you can say, "I already leave a message. I already leave a message telling you that I already submitted." Okay, so I'm not doing anything, fishy, anything behind the screens, and so on. Right, I already submitted. I'm waiting for the next question. Okay, time, because the question will only be released, okay, when the time comes. All right, so it will be like something like the 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the next questions. Then during the interval time, the system will open the next questions, and then when it is near, so you have to download it first, and so on. But you still can't open it. So when the times, okay, when it's time, so we will give you the password. Okay, we'll give you the password. Every question will have a different set of password. All right, so that it won't be one password to suit all. Right. Okay, so I think this one is quite straightforward. Question 3. Okay. Yeah, how come I can't move this? Okay.
Doktor,
Ya.
kalau macam nak tengok contoh soalan kan doktor, sebab semalam saya tak dapat masuk sebab saya ada test malam.
Ya. Soalan dalam tu bukan soalan pun, cuma dia give you a few only to download something, That one is a dummy PDF actually.
Oh, dummy punya. So soalannya
Dummy.
soalannya macam sem lepas ke? Means that ada question 1, question 2, question 3 sampai question 7 macam tu.
Question 6, sampai question 6.
Oh,
So
sampai
it
question
will
6,
be it'll be segregated lah. It'll be split. It won't be something like this, you know. All the questions will be in one document, so it won't be.
Oh, in macam contoh part 1, soalan 1, 2, 3, 4 macam tu
Yes. Dia cuma the soalan satu, you download soalan satu saja. Nanti bila release, when it's released again, so you download the question 2.
Macam tu. Okay, Doktor.
Okay, so I off this first. I think my okay. Hey, how come it's not showing? How come it's hang? Oh, this was on it again. The problem with this device, sometimes I do not actually. Okay, that's what I want. I want to flip it around. All right. So, question 4. Assuming you are working in a well-known, so there will be another case study kind. Okay. So, no well-known manufacturing company involved in the production planning and tooling. You are assigned to deliver briefing of explanation regarding the function. And so basically this is something like what I discussed with another group yesterday. So you're about to give briefing about the 4 basic principles of manufacturing. Okay, so in figure 4 you can see that R&D, production planning, tooling, production, marketing. So everything is in the loop. So basically not just that, this one also affect this one also affect this. So basically is affecting each other, you know, in all directions basically. All right, so your briefing should not exceed 500 words. Okay, so basically about 1 page or so. Okay, if it is type, if you type it, it's about 1 page or so, you'll get 500 words. Okay, so basically you have to actually now the question here, it says you are actually only with stage 2. All right, so you will focus on stage 2. All right, so you can give an overall brief for this question. You can give an overall understanding on the stage 1, 2, 3, 4 about what it is, what it do, you know, but focus on stage 2, what it actually do in stage 2. Production planning and tooling. For example, it's like, okay, if I want to produce this product, all right, what should I do? Okay, so what is my expectation from this product? What do I expect? For example, if let's say this iPhone is about to produce to launch a product, so they will be like, okay, worldwide there are so many of iPhone user. Most of them are still using a lot of these old products. All right, so you know, iOS every year they are trimming down some of these phone model that they no longer support with their iOS system. All right, so for this year, I think it's about time for iPhone 6 and 6 Plus user to basically give up or to change to a new iPhone. Okay. So in the end, they might be expecting some of this iPhone 6 or iPhone 6 Plus user to basically change their phone to the latest phone or to a newer version of phone. Okay, so they will do a prediction on how much sales do I predict, you know, will be able to sell from this the new model. Okay, let's say 100 billion. Okay, worldwide. So they are about to actually, they are about to talk to their manufacturing. You know, do we have the capability to produce 100 million? If yes, then proceed. And do we have enough technology to produce the latest, you know, the Bionic A15 chips, you know, and so on? Now, if no, what should I do then? Should I get in more machine, or should I actually give 24 hours of operation, running by 3 shifts, so to increase the capacity? So if you are to do that, means that you need more people. Okay, the machine can be maintaining the same, the facility can maintain the same, but you need more people because previously I'm running 2 shifts, 16 hours. Now I'm running 3 shifts, 24 hours. Okay, so from where I get the people? Okay, if I hire people, I need to train them, to provide training on how to do this production, how to run the machines, how to do the assembly, and so on. Then if it's not enough, if it's still not enough, okay, so what should I do then? To increase the capacity, to increase, the production rate, to produce more product. So maybe I need more machine. Maybe even if the added machine also, it might not be enough. Okay, well, so if it's not enough, what should I do? I need more space. So I need to, maybe I get a new factory. So by renting a new space, and so on. So renting a new space, I need new machine, I need new worker, I need new supervisor, and so on. So if I want to produce that much of product, do I have enough supplier to provide me with this enough material? As you need input to do the transformation, only you get the output. So the output is 100 million, let's say. So you need an input of 100 million product worth of raw material, right? So from where I get that? So you need to cover a lot of this kind of element in your answer. All right. So to get the 6 months. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we see distinguish, okay, typo error here, and compare interchangeable manufacturing system in terms of manufacturing advantages for assembling manufacturing parts or component as compared to make to suit. So from here, this question basically wants you to compare what is the good thing about interchangeable, compare to make to suit. What I suggest is you make a table. One is interchangeable, another one is make to suit, in terms of what this one is better, you can describe a bit, this one describe a bit, which one is better, the characteristic of this interchangeable manufacturing versus this make to suit, and then only you describe, in the bottoms, I think that, in interchangeable manufacturing, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. Okay, so if the question asks you about the advantages, you describe about the advantages. Okay, if the system want you to describe about these disadvantages, you describe the disadvantages. All right, so it's very essential. And one thing about this, another thing that okay, interchangeable and make to suit is fairly simple approach. Interchangeable means that if I will to produce something according to a drawing or according to a specification, no matter, okay, what or where am I producing it from, what material that I'm using, and so on, it should be fixing to each other with no problems. Okay, most of our product basically works this way. All right, in the interchangeable manufacturing, just like changing, let's say, your smartphone screen. Okay, so let's say if touch wood, I break my phone screen, and so on, I can go to any shop. Okay, do you have these models, handphones, smartphones, touch screen, and so on? Yeah, I have. You want a good one or a normal one? Normally they will ask you this, right? If you go for, let's say, the car maintenance, and so on, you want the original one or the compatible one. Okay, the price, of course, is different, but function wise it's still the same. It still works fine. Both of them, just that maybe one of it, the screen might not be that sensitive, you know. Another one maybe is a super sensitive, it's very close to the original, or you want the original. Okay, the price is different. Okay, but however, it is basically referring to the original equipment manufacturer spec in terms of the size, the thickness, you know, and so on, to at least perform at its basic function. Okay, that's interchangeable. Means that if, let's say, if I want to buy an M6 screw, let it be I buy it from, you know, this kind of shops, you know, and so on, or Mr. DIY, or maybe in departmental stores, you know, and so on. Doesn't matter. As far as the size is correct, I will have no problem fixing them together. Just like when you have a multiple marker pen, you know, and so on, you know, the whiteboard marker pen. Now the cap and the pen, basically, you know, you just swap around all the caps, you know, and put into the pen. If you don't have any problem in fixing into the pen, you won't have problem at all. Just like when you are buying clothes, right? So it doesn't matter. The clothes is from G2000, the clothes is from Gap, you know, and so on. As long as you are wearing L, okay, L size, let's say, or XL, you know, doesn't matter. You know, when you fit in, no, maybe some might be a little bit smaller, you know, and but still fit you. Okay, so you have no problems in fitting. Okay, make to suit is basically, it's just like job shop production. I make that particular shirt to suit only you. Okay, to suit only you. So that's the difference between these two. All right. Six.
Doktor,
Yeah.
yang intangible manufacture ni ada dalam slide tak, Doktor?
Apa tu?
Dia punya ni ada dalam slide tak?
Ada
juga,
chapter, ada chapter 2 under I think this page. Yes.
Oh, chapter 2
Make to suit, selected, and interchangeable. Page 4.
Oh, definition dia. Okay.
Alright,
Doktor.
alright. Okay. So let's move on. Question 6. So how many more questions do we have? Question 6, and then oh, it happened again. So it just don't want me to. Okay, so all right. Okay, so the last two questions is about this calculation. All right, so okay, figure Q7 is a designer concept sketching. Highlight and explain 5 information that are lacking as compared to the production drawing for manufacturability. To answer the questions of why production drawing is preferred than designer concept drawing. Okay, now production drawing basically is something that tells you, okay, now for example, one of it, okay, so one of it, you can say that there's no unit, right? If you see from this drawing, 79.38 is what? Inch, okay, or meter, cm, mm, don't know. Okay, and other thing is like there's no plus minus here, there's no tolerances here. Okay, so there's a lot of this thing, you know, how good is the surface? So this is something like the GD&T questions. Okay, so there's no specific requirement or something. There's no plane being explained, you know, plane, like for example, this one is plane A and this one is plane B. Okay, and so on. And this one, the circularity, you know, the circularity is what's the specs, you know, and so on. So these are the things that you need to catch from here. All right. All right, so I think this is quite straightforward. So in the test, you don't have that. In the test, make sure you remember all the 13 symbols. All right, the 13 symbols is always being asked. Okay, so in whichever form. All right, so like for example, what is this? Right, for example, what is this? Like for example, what is this? Okay, so maybe they'll ask you, in the drawings, highlight, let's say the perpendicular of, let's say 0.5 micrometer. So maybe you have to, okay, this one, the perpendicularity, okay, so 0.5, and then the symbol is, okay, so I enlarge this so it become like this. Okay, so you need to draw this, and 0.5 at, let's say, plane A. So this is plane, let's say this is plane A. Okay. So basically that is one of these how it's being asked. All right. So make sure that you are familiar with these symbols. All right. Okay. The main cost of this whole thing. Okay. The whole. Okay. Shaft, right? Basic. All right. I need to have. It's okay. Okay. So a hole and shaft have a basic size of 30. So you know that is 30. And then clearance speed is a clearance speed, means that it's loose, all right? With a maximum clearance of 0.6, something minus something is 0.6, all right? Positive. And the minimum clearance is 0.1. So something minus something is still 0.1. Okay, so the minimum clear. So we have to go back to this theory. All right. So chapter 2, what minus what again? You remember? Okay. So the minimum clearance, so that we know that the lower hole size minus the upper shaft size, we get 0.1. Okay. Lower hole size minus upper shaft size, you get 0.1. And then the upper hole size minus the lower shaft size, you get 0.6 mm. So the basic size is 30. Okay. So the hole size, the hole tolerance is to be equal to the shaft tolerance. Determine the limit for both shaft and hole. Okay. So how do we do that? So we know one thing. So a hole and shaft, so the hole tolerance. So this one, it never mentioned about anything of this, whether it's upper or lower, and so on. All right. So, okay. So the lower hole size. So if this is a hole-based system, all right, the minimum is always 0. If this is a 0 line, means that the minimum hole size or the lower hole size is equal to, okay, 30.0. Okay, and upper hole size, don't know yet. Okay, All right. So means that 30.00 minus upper shaft size, you get 0.1. So the upper shaft size is 29.9, right? The lower hole size is 30. Okay. And because it says that the hole tolerance is to be equal to the shaft tolerance. So it means that the shaft is somewhere here. The maximum the shaft will have is upper shaft size is equal to 0. Okay. So, wait, oh, wait. Wait. No. No. Okay. So, so how do we actually proceed from here? Something is missing. Determine the limit of hole size. The hole tolerance is said to be okay. The hole tolerance is that the upper hole size minus lower hole size is equal to the upper shaft size minus lower shaft size. So we already know the lower size is equal to 30. Okay, so this one, upper hole size, don't know yet, is equal to 29.9 minus lower shaft size, don't know yet. Okay, so it will be okay, it will be okay, so I'm lost it. Okay, I'll come back to this later. All right, so I'm not getting it. Okay, so this kind of thing happen. Sometimes you are lost, and I really had a bad sleep last night. I can't sleep because the cat somewhere is keep on meowing the whole night, and I can't really sleep well. So today I'm a bit blur. Okay, I'll come back to this. So I'll give you the answers in the chat box later on. All right. Okay. So but please be assured that you don't have these questions in the in your test. Okay. But I'll come back to this. I'll give you the answer. All right. So
Doktor,
okay. Yes.
test nanti sampai limit and hole kan? Limit and fit.
Limit and fit dan segala yang sebelum polymer. Everything that is before polymer.
Oh, before
Means that
polymer
chapter 1, chapter 2, all the limits and fits, GD&T, everything is included.
Okay.
Okay.
Doktor,
Yes.
kalau soalan tu guna ISO fit table tu, nak kira tolerance, macam mana nak tahu bila guna whole basis ke shaft basic
Okay.
kalau dia tak mention?
If dia tak mention, memang whole basis. Kecuali dia bla bla bla, dia bagi tahu lah whole shaft macam ni, shaft macam tu, that one is automatically dia akan go for shaft. Okay. So we try to look into this. Okay. A shaft, a bush. Okay. So bush basically is a shaft, right? Okay. Is and a hole is this. So basically, so it's K7 120 K7. So we get the figure first. 120 K7. K7. So because you see here, It purposely don't give you this minimum or maximum of this. All right, they give you the minimum, but they don't give you the maximum. So what does that mean? Okay, means that they are going to test you whether you actually know what is this or not. So this one is a shaft-based system. Okay, this one is a shaft-based system because in a shaft-based system, generally the zero line, okay, or the shaft is anything below or equal to the zero line. So it is the minimum. Okay, the minimum is 119.5. Maximum. So this and this, right? So maximum I would say is 120. By default, I know it's 120 because it's anywhere here. So the proof is if you refer to this shaft basis table, okay, you see shaft basis normally the lowercase is for shaft. You see all of the figure on the top is 0, 0, 0. Okay, so it must be 120 minus something, then only you get 119.5, right? Okay. All right. So it must be 119 minus something. 120 minus something, then only you get 119.5. So the maximum is 120. All right. So the zero line is there. So this is a shaft-based system, and then this is a 120 K7. So again, I'm okay. So here we have 120 and 120. So again, we have to look. This is over 120. This is up to 120. So the size of 120, okay, is this one. Okay, is only up until 120. Even though there is a plus, and so on, and it ends up, 120 point something, in the end, we still refer to this one. Okay, because the basic size, this is what we talk about, the basic size. Okay, so this one, 120 here, over 120 does not include 120. It is 120 something onwards. Okay, so we will to refer to this one, we look sideways. So just now, if I'm not mistaken, it's K7, right? So we look sideways, K7. So we are, okay, I found it. Okay, so it's a plus 10 minus 25. Okay, so from here, plus 10 minus 25. So this one is 1 20 plus 10 minus 25. Okay, so multiply by 0.001. So it will be 120.01, 119. This is 0.25. Okay, let's minus it off. 120 minus 0.25. Right? 120 minus 0.025. Okay. 119,975. Okay. All right. So, so the nominal size is that, you can say that the nominal size is, okay, so for the shaft is 119.5 to 120. Hole is 119.975 to 120.1. Okay, so the tolerance is shaft is 120 minus 119.5, and for the hole will be 120.1 minus 119.975. Okay, so make sure that you get this correct. Okay, so the minimum or maximum clearance, so this one, so it's a sharp so you can use this upper. Okay, if you look back to here, okay. Oops. Okay, lower hole size, upper shaft size. Lower hole size is 119.975. 119.975 minus upper shaft size. Upper shaft size 120, right? So you get a negative value or something lah. Okay, and then the upper hole size 120.1 minus lower shaft size 119.5. So this one you get a positive, okay, or certain figure. But in the test you don't just write, you know, my negative or positive. You just write, you know, it's equal to 0 point something, you know, and so on. And this one is equal to 0.6, okay, 0.6. So it's a positive. So you just write here, it's a positive. So this one is 119.975 minus 120 is equal to negative 0.025. If there's a unit, okay, mm. So this is a negative value. So you will know that, okay, you will know that is the clearance minimum tolerance. The tolerance is sometimes positive, sometimes negative. So that gives you the type of is a transition fit. Okay, so how to differentiate that? If both positive and positive, clearance fit. If it's a negative, positive, or positive, negative, this is transition fit. Okay, if it's negative and negative, interference fit. All right, so that's how you differentiate these three categories. All right, so time flies. All right. So I still owe you the one questions that later I'll sit down properly and do it, and then I'll give you the answers. All right. So basically that's how you actually look into it. So it's similarly the same thing happened for this whole base system. So let's do again for the whole base system. We refer to the example that I give you here. Okay, so it's 50 mm diameter is to be mated together. So this one, it never mentioned anything. So this one automatically is a whole base. So H7 and 6. All right. So what we need to do is we look into the whole base system. We look for the H7 and N6. Okay. Make sure that you refer to the right one. So how to know? Read from here. Whole base and shaft base. So make sure you refer to the right table. All right. So just now is 50. So I'm looking at 50. All right. So which one? So up to 50. So I'll be looking at this one. Okay. So when I look sideways, H7 and N6. I'll be looking for H7 and N6. Okay. So I'll be looking all the way here. So here until H only, right? So always the capital letter is for whole, and the small small letter is for shaft. All right. H7 and 6 is here. All right. H7 and 6. So there's another trick that you can do here is that actually they already give you a certain hint here. If you will to put H7 and N6 together, you will get a transition fit. You see here? The information here tells you that this particular H7, K6, H7, N6 is transition fit. All right. So just now we say it's a 50, right? So it's a 50 hole. Okay. So 25, 0. And then shaft 50, 33, 17. Okay. So it will be from, so you must multiply by 0.001. Okay. Okay, you will get 50.025. Okay, so it will be 50 to 50.025. Okay, and then this one will be, so it's plus, right? 50.017. How come this one can pick to 50.033? Okay, so whenever you are using this, the minimum tolerances, okay, the lower hole size 50 minus the maximum, this one 50.033. So you get a negative value. Okay, and then whenever this thing is maximum 50.025, okay, minus 50.017, you get a positive value. So you get a positive and negative value that indicates it is a transition fit in the end. All right. So for more of this, how it's done, you can refer back to the previous page. So the previous page here, I tells you about how this thing is done. The answer is all here. And then when this thing is being so when you want to find the size, there are two alternatives: alternative 1, alternative 2. Why? Because both also contain a 50. So in the end, so what you need to do, okay, so on. All right. So in the end, this is the answer here. So you get a negative 33 and negative 0.8. So one is negative value, one is a positive value. All right. So that this is the transition fit. All right. Okay, I think that's all for today. Basically done with it, and I will. What else? So for those of you who haven't actually tried it, this OAP system, so you may do so. Only one attempt, so just go in, have a taste on how to download the things. I already extended the OAP rehearsal things to until tonight midnight. Okay, until midnight today. So you still can try it. All right. So other than that, you just what you have to do is just that you download, and then you try to submit it. You try to submit it. Don't in the end only kalam kabut. Actually, where to submit and so on. I can't find and this and that. All right. So make sure that when your submission, you change the name of your submission file to your name. That is the most safest way. And normally, if I do it, okay, normally in every new questions that I answer, say this is question 1, at the top corner there, I'll write my name, Richard Fu or something. So that even though, you know, if I forgotten to actually change the file name, no, kadang-kala kelam kabut kan. So during the panics, you know, and so on, you forgot it. But inside the paper or inside your answer script, your name is there. At least when we look at, no, how come this student script with no names, you know, and so on, but inside there you already write down your name. So it's some sort like a play safe kind of things. Okay, so normally that's what I will do. All right, so I'll write down my name and the matrix number, you know, and so on. Okay, or maybe I can put section 1, something like that. Okay, so in the end, we know where you belong, because sometimes some lecturers say, oh, this one is not in my list. Okay, so because due to the markings, you know, and so on, so sometimes they just put aside first, you know, until probably, you know, forgotten about it. Okay, because it's not their student. Okay, it's not belongs to their section. Okay, it should be like, for example, if I have 1 student missing from my list, it's my duty to go and find you, to find your answer script. Okay, so sometimes they are just waiting. Hey, do you have any answer script of this Tan Ah Chong's, you know, scripts, you know, and so on? Okay, if anybody have it, please forward it to me, something like that. All right. So that's why in this OAP system, make sure that in every questions, okay, in every question, submit at the right window, submit at the right question, submit at the right section. All right. So it is clearly stated there, you know, section 1 and 2 are Richard Fu. Section 3 to 4, Fu. 5, 6, Fu. 6, 7, Fu. 7, 8, you know, and so on and so forth. So just find your right section, find your right lecturer name, and submit it there will do. All right. I don't think it support multiple submission. All right. So we recommend that the use of the cam scanner, because I myself already use it for more than 1.5 to 2 years. So I find it it's quite simple. Okay, and then you can adjust the brightness, you know, and so on, so to make it readable, you know, and so on. So and the size that of the file is actually not that big. All right, not that huge. You know, you just put everything on the table, and then you on the cam scanner, and then you just scan, you just snap, and then the page by page, and then everything, and then you just send the you compile it to PDF with no problems, you know, and so on. All right. So make sure that the photo that you scan, all right, is clear enough, because you know, you might be writing a lot of wonderful things. All right. So the next thing is that you must make sure that we can read it. Okay, sometimes because of the lighting is not good, you know, or because of this capability of the smartphone might be different from one another, so the quality of the photo taken sometimes is varies in terms of quality. So sometimes it's a bit blur, you know, and so on, you know. So just make sure that, you know, every snap, you know, is clear enough. Okay, and your answer script, please keep it. All right, please keep it in case there is anything. Right? In case like, Mr. Ali, I have your script here, but I can't really read it. So can you resnap what you have there? No, if you are telling me like, so I already thrown it away. Sorry, but then what can we do then, right? All right. So if there's anything you need, okay, or you need extra exercises, or you need extra past year, I will send it to you. Okay, I don't mind sending it to you. So if anything you encounter, you know, and so on, you know, on the answering techniques, you know, and so on, feel free to ask me. All right, I'll try my best to reply you as soon as possible. All right. So some might ask, can I ask questions during the test privately? Yes, somehow. Okay, and I always say this: if you ask the right question, you get the right answer. Okay. But normally I won't entertain. 'em. 'Sir, how do we do this?' That one, 'Sir, how do we do this?' 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 'Sir, how do It's very difficult. Okay, so it's like if I wonder if this is the whole-based system. Okay, if I'm using whole-based system for this, is it correct? So normally I'll give you a smiley face, something like that. It means you are on the right track, lah. All right. So something like that, lah. Okay. I can't be too straightforward. Okay. So I think it should be all right. Okay. All the best for you tomorrow. Okay. So get enough sleep, enough rest well, and then everything should be all right. And just for one thing, and because after this week will be your semester break, right? So I'm actually planning that maybe after the test, so we no longer have class for our Thursday and Friday. No, Wednesday and Thursday. Because we are already ahead of if when I'm asking around, and so on, we are already ahead by at least 2 or 3 hours of lecture. So and we are on track. Okay, so this semester I actually planned it this way purposely, so that we can be able to finish the lecture early, so that we have more time to focus on the past year final exam questions. All right, so that we are more prepared. Okay, so as one of the CQI, or these corrective actions, for this subject that I promise, that I will do, right? So it's to actually to give you more, okay, revision of such kind, all right, so that you are more prepared, well prepared for the exam. So because I want you to do well, all right. So all the best. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Doctor,
Yeah.
Doctor?
may I ask question?
Yes.
Yeah. For question 8, from the past year, actually, I do not quite understand how do we manage to determine it is a shaft-based system, and why is it the maximum shaft size is 120?
Okay, because this is the philosophy or the theory of it. Okay, of the theory of it. Let's say this. So if you attend the last I think the last special session whereby I'm discussing about this limits and fits system. Whole-based system basically is whole-based system. I hate this. Okay, let's say this is a whole-based system. All right. So we draw a zero line, and anything above or the most is equal to this zero is a whole-based system. Okay, as a proof, all right. So this is a theory basically. As a proof, if you try to see every of this capital letter, H7 or H9, you see the bottom is all zero. The bottom is all zero. Okay, means that the smallest it can go is until zero only. So means that if this is a diameter 30, and so on, it will be minimum 30.0 until, this one depends on which grade it is, until 30 point something. But this one definitely will be zero. So this is whole-based system. If it is a shaft-based system, it's reverse. Underneath here, the zero line is here. So it will be anything, let's say this is a 30. If anything here, it will be maximum 30.000 up until 29 point something. So for the question just now, it tells you that the minimum for shaft size is 119. And then this one, they already give you a K7. So what else is missing here? The maximum shaft size. Yeah. So indirectly, it is telling you that it is testing you whether you know or not this is a shaft-based system. If you know that this is a shaft-based system, you know straight away that the maximum shaft size is 120. Same with this one. Because the minimum for this is 120. The minimum for this shaft is 120. If it's a shaft-based system, the basic size is 120. They are telling you the basic size is 120 plus minus something, which is K7. So the basic size is 120. If it's a shaft-based system, okay, means that this one is 120. The maximum shaft value is 120 because it is on the 0 line. So it will be anything that is 119 point something, you know, but go until the maximum will be 120.0, definitely, because the theory said so. The fundamental of this shaft-based system said so. The fundamental of hole-based system saying that the hole size will be 0 at the minimum. So the shaft-based system, the fundamental says that it will be 0 at the maximum. So it will be the basic size or smaller for shaft-based system. For hole-based system, it will be the basic size or more for the hole size. Okay, so that's the difference between the shaft-based and the hole-based. All right. If you get it wrong, then it will be like if this is not a shaft-based system, then we will not be able to find what is the maximum shaft size. We won't be able to find it anymore. Right.
Right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Dr.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think that's all for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So I'll give the attendance later on, and then these recordings. The recording later on. So normally it will take about half an hour or so for the video to be ready. All right. So thank you very much. So have a nice day.
Thank you, Doctor.